put our hand together for Panama. Yes. So, I have some pictures for you. See, what is the relevance of diabetes awareness? What do you say? What is the relevance of diabetes awareness? We all have, each and every day we celebrate something or other thing. What is the relevance of diabetes awareness? What do you say? Is it a good thing?
Good, too much.
Yes, it is a wonderful thing that we are celebrating a whole month regarding diabetes awareness. Why? This is the answer for that question. See, from 2000 to 2030, how the graph goes. Just check. In 2000, 151 was the incidence. 151 million was the incidence of diabetes whole world. But in 530s, it becomes 537 in 2021 and it will become 643 in 2030. This is the reason why we are celebrating a whole month regarding diabetes awareness. And if this is the scenario of worldwide, do you have any guess about our Middle East? Any guess about the statistics in Middle East? This Middle East area is the highest prevalence in the world. Recent studies shows like that. And see this chart. Saudi Arabia, it has 31.6% of people having diabetes. And in Oman, it is 29. And in Kuwait, it is 25.4. And in Bahrain, see, 25% of the people in Bahrain are diabetic. That means 2 or 3 people in 10 are diabetic in which country?
Bahrain.
Our own country, Bahrain. So that's why we are celebrating this month here with Shifa, encouraging more movement, like our doctor said, more movement, more nutritious meals like that. We are celebrating this month. See, this is what happens in our body. Our glucose or our carbohydrate carbohydrate metabolism, it will convert into glucose, and this glucose is get absorbed by the cells to produce more energy. That is how they are all doing all the push-ups and pull-ups there. They are having carbohydrate in their body, it will convert it into glucose, and they are using this energy for doing their activities. Even if I am standing here, then I am also using my energy, my brain is using my energy in the form of glucose. But if insulin is not properly secreted in the body, or if insulin is not properly utilized, even if we are having insulin secretion, if we don't utilize our cells, if we don't utilize that insulin, then what happens to the glucose in our body? It will get accumulated in the bloodstream. That is how diabetes happens. And what is the function of insulin? This picture tells us the function about insulin. See, insulin in the red, where is that picture? Insulin in that red picture, no? That will act as a key lock mechanism, acts inside the cell, and that will bind to the cell insulin receptor, which will help the cell to use glucose in the body. But if fat is accumulated in the cells, this key lock mechanism does not happen. Insulin does not encourage the cells to use up the glucose in the bloodstream to produce energy. So that glucose will retain our bloodstream, and that will glucose spike. And in turn, what happens to our major organs? See, almost all organs will be affected by the high insulin in our bloodstream. See, our heart, that is affected. Our neuropathy, nervous system, that is affected. Our eyes are affected. Our feet, even our feet is affected. Kidneys are affected. So many internal organs in our body are affected if our bloodstream retains the glucose in the body. So that is why we are telling all people to do an annual checkup. Do an annual checkup. Not go for treatment, but you should diagnose yourself first. Assess yourself first, whether you are a pre-diabetic, or you are a diabetic or a normal person, that you should assess annually. This is the normal range. As you all know, normal range is below 100 in the fasting stage, and after eating it is between 170 and 200, and after 2-3 hours it should be 120 to 140. This is the normal status of our glucose in the body. And if as our doctor said, if our HbA1c is higher than 6.5, we are in the high risk category, and if our HbA1c is below 5.7, then we are in the normal category, and between 5.7 and 6.4 are very crucial, because almost every people, they don't check their HbA1c levels. Instead of that, what do we check? What do we check? What's our normal test? Fasting blood sugar, no? Fasting blood sugar, but that is not a reliable indicator. But HbA1c is a little bit expensive test, but it is a reliable indicator. See, if I am diabetic and if I am having a light dinner today, and if I go to the fasting blood sugar test tomorrow, then normally my blood sugar will be normal, no? Because I am having a light dinner today. But see, this HbA1c gives us the blood sugar levels for the past 3 months. And so, see about cereals. Cereals you can have. All diabetic and all pre-diabetic patients can have cereals, but try to avoid all these kind of cereals like refined flour, like the cake and pastry products, and the French fries, and the sweets and snacks from the bakeries. All these are having refined flour, so we should avoid these kind of cereals. And this also will provide carbohydrate in the body, like roots and tubers. All roots and tubers contains carbohydrate, and if a diabetic patient eats carbohydrate, then sugar spike will happen inside the body. But these vegetables are very low in carbohydrate. All leafy vegetables you can have. All gourd varieties you can have. Pumpkin, watermelon type, all melon type varieties you can have. But all the previous in these vegetables in this picture is not advisable for a diabetic patient. And for a pre-diabetic also, I usually don't suggest pre-diabetic patients to use these roots and tubers, because if you manage your diet well, you will be able to manage lifelong without medicine. If you want to live a life without medicine, then you should follow a proper diet plan. And what about this? Is it advisable for a diabetic patient? Egg, chicken, cereals, fish, all these things are advisable, and these are excellent source of protein. What about fruits? What about fruits? Can diabetes people have fruits?
Yes.
Little bit.
Yes, they can have fruits, but the best time to eat a fruit is when? After dinner? No. Morning? Yes, good answer. Give her a big round of applause. Morning, that especially mid-morning you can have fruits, but only one in a day, 100 grams, that is what we say. So try to have any of the fruits during mid-morning. But these fruits, no, some fruits are, their glycemic index is low. But another factor called glucose load or carbohydrate load is there. So some of these fruits are not advisable, like our jackfruit is not good for a diabetic patient, and mango, banana, grapes, all these four fruits are not advisable for a diabetic patient, even if they are having it in the morning time. Okay, you got the point? Because their carbohydrate load is high. And what about simple sugars? A big no for all diabetic patients. No simple sugar for diabetic or pre-diabetic patient. And these are the sample pictures you can have for a diabetic patient. You can have meal like this. This is a morning meal with less carbohydrate and more vegetables, and with some curd, with some milk That too, golden milk with turmeric, haldi milk. And this is advisable for mid-morning. Like you can pair carbohydrate in the apple with protein in the almond, or you can use peanut butter. That means you are pairing carbohydrate with what? Protein. That will slows down the digestion and absorption of carbohydrate from apple. Okay? And what about this plate? Instead of this rice, some people may eat bread or some people may eat some other thing. What is wrong with this plate? Any idea?
Meat and rice.
Meat and rice. That's okay. That's okay. But in elderly people, it may not be easy for them to digest. That's why some people tell no curd with fish or no curd with meat like that. But in young people, it is okay for them. But what is wrong with this plate? Any idea? The portion size. The portion size of carbohydrate in the plate is high or low?
High.
High. It is high, so this is a big no for diabetic patient. But see, so nice, no? Less carbohydrate, more vegetables. And here also you can see less carbohydrate, more vegetables with calcium from yogurt. Here also less carbohydrate, more vegetables. Half plate of vegetables. Is this good or bad?
Good.
Good only. Okay. And see, I usually advise all of my patients to have some non-veg every day. For 3 meals also they can have some non-veg, because from this non-veg they will get nice protein which will be very easily digested and absorbed. The amino acids from the non-veg is very easily absorbed by our gut, human gut. So you can have non-veg, a diabetic patient can have non-veg, but make sure that a diabetic patient will eat what first? A Mediterranean salad. This is a Mediterranean salad with lot of pulses, with lot of vegetables. First, if you eat a salad first, and if you go for this plate, then you can definitely stop with half chapati or maximum 1 chapati. Am I right?
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So this is it, and this is the standard healthy plan we advise now. We don't give these diet plans like in earlier days. Instead of that, we advise this diet plate, healthy diet plate we advise. Half plate of vegetables you should take, either cooked or raw. That's okay, but half plate vegetables should be there. And quarter plate carbohydrate, you can use rice, you can use wheat, but both should be whole. Maida is refined, cannot use that. Like white rice is more refined than brown rice. That is also not advisable for a diabetic patient. Even for a normal patient, nowadays we don't advise this white rice much. And see, the protein portion, quarter plate protein you can have every day. Even if you are diabetic, you can use quarter plate protein every day with some calcium source. From milk or yogurt you will get calcium, which is a natural fat burner which will help you to cut down the fat deposited in the body. That will help your cells to sense the insulin more, and that will enhance your sugar levels within your body mechanics. And body mass index, all of us know about this body mass index. This is an old thing. I put this slide particularly because you should know this is an outdated thing, body mass index, because even if our muscle mass is low and even if our fat is high, this won't reflect in the body mass index. So nowadays we suggest thing. What is that? Composition. Our human body consists of fat, muscle, bone, body fluids, the food we ate, everything, no? So body composition analysis is the advisable method of analyzing our body. And in fact, if this visceral fat is high, even if for a normal person, if your visceral fat is high, that can lead to diabetes later. Especially if you are having family history, or if you are doing a stressful work, or if you are having some stress in your life, that can lead to diabetes in future. So be careful about the fat deposition in your body and check your body composition regularly. Once in 3 months or at least once a year, you should check your body composition and find out how much visceral fat you have, how much body fat deposited in the various parts of your body. Like that, you should analyze. So this is the thing, and before winding up, 3 takeaway message for you. First one, waist circumference is important, not your weight. Okay, weight doesn't matter, but your waist circumference matters, because if you have visceral fat deposition in your body, definitely your waist circumference will go up. And what is the normal waist circumference for ladies? Dear ladies, what is the normal waist circumference? Do you know? Less than 19, 72, no.
32.
Less than 85 centimeters. Less than 85 centimeters in centimeters. Okay, in centimeters it should be less than 85 or 85. What should be in males? Waist circumference in males?
38.
90. Okay, if your waist circumference go high, then that denotes you are having visceral fat deposition more in your body. Okay, and second point, even if you are having fat deposition in the body, you may belong to HOPE group. What is HOPE? HOP, HOPE is healthy obese people. Even if you are having overweight, or even if you are obese, your blood parameters may be normal, or your cholesterol, your sugar levels, your BP, everything will be normal. So nothing wrong about that obesity, and that particular group of people are called HOPE people, healthy obese people. But another type of people are there that we call as PUT people. What? P-U-T, PUT people. What is that? This PUT people? HOPE is healthy obese people. What will be PUT? It is people who are unhealthy and thin. Okay, people who are unhealthy and thin. Some people may be thin, but their blood parameters, when they go and check their blood tests, their blood parameters may vary, and thus those kind of people are we call PUT people. So we should be careful about that also. Even if we are thin, even if we feel like healthy, we may not be. So self-analysis or self-assessment is a very important thing, dear guys. And any questions? Any questions? എന്തെങ്കിലും സംശയം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഇപ്പം ചോദിച്ചോണം. ഞാനൊരു കോഫ് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഇപ്പം റിക്കവർ ആയി വരുന്നേ ഉള്ളൂ. സോറി ഫോർ ട്രബിളിംഗ് യു ഇൻ ബിറ്റ്വീൻ വിത്ത് മൈ കോഫ് ആൻഡ് ഓൾ. എനി ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് ഡു യു ഹാവ്? കം.
And here
Hi,
next.
good evening. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you so much for all the explanation you have made so far. So basically, I just wanted to know, like, as you said, like we are maintaining the diet, and how much do you think it is important for us to have a balanced diet, or is that 3-time meals that we have to do a balance, or is that necessity along with your walk or exercise what we do in our day-to-day life?
Okay, thank you for the question here. What's your name, by the way? Nitya. Okay. Balanced diet. Everyone knows about this balanced diet, no? What is balanced diet? Balanced diet is a food which contains almost every nutrients. Carbohydrate should be there, protein should be there, fat should be there, vitamins should be there, minerals should be there, and sixth nutrient is there. New nutrient, it is fiber. All these nutrients should be there in a balanced diet. And for that, usually almost our Asian people, our staple food is rice or wheat. So if we combine it with what? Protein, like egg or fish, or with some, if we are having a salad, then normally our diet will become balanced. Okay, and about 2 or 3 time meals, no? That also you asked. 2-time meals sometimes advisable for some persons, but not for all. Okay, not for all. And 3 time meal is a regular pattern. Some may eat 4 times. That's not at all a problem. But always think that not all persons are identical. Okay, each and everyone are unique. So some people can have 2 time meal, some people can have 4 time meal. That depends upon their lifestyle, their work, their nutrient intake in all those meals like that. Okay, hope I am clear, Nitya. Okay, any other doubts? Any doubts?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I'd like to ask 2 correlated questions.
Yes,
Mainly,
please. Where
I'd
does that sound comes from? Yes, please.
Ma'am, I'd like to know the differentiating factor between supplementary protein and natural protein, and also I'd like to know the relationship, the relationship between water intake and the amount of protein that I consume.
Yes. Usually, we dietitians don't recommend any supplements except vitamin D. Okay, except vitamin D. All other nutrients you can have from your normal diet, like protein. As you asked, protein you will get from egg, you will get from chicken, you can get from fish. Okay, and pulses are also rich source of protein. But in some cases, where one is not able to take much protein as his daily requirement. If my requirement is 60 gram, and if I am not able to take that 60 gram while I am traveling, I can use supplements. Okay, you clear? In such circumstances, we can use supplements. My son, who is doing his final year in graduation, he is in a veg campus, and he is doing lot of activity there, so he won't get much protein from their college mess. So I usually suggest a nice healthy protein for him. But if he comes to home where I can provide him this natural protein, then definitely he won't take any protein supplements. And regarding water intake, even if you are taking protein or not, you must have your 3.5 to 5 liters of water daily, depending upon your body surface area. In Bahrain's climate, it is 5 liters. 5 liters advisable for a normal person, and if your body surface area increases, your water intake should also increase. Hope I am clear. Thank you. And my dear friend, what's your name?
Ma'am, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel, for the wonderful question. Any other things? Do you have any doubts? Okay. So, shall I give my mic over to Abhi? Yes, where is she?